Now, your official weather forecast.
It'll be breezy and mild overnight with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 60. Breezy and warmer tomorrow with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, high 68. Breezy and warm with periods of rain and a thunderstorm for tomorrow night, low 64. Tuesday looks mostly cloudy, windy, and mild with a couple of showers. Prepare for wet weather if you're heading out to vote, high 67. I'm Ruth O'Brien on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Kamala Harris is closing the presidential campaign by calling former President Trump a fascist. She wants voters to fear he will centralize power in his own hands for his own radical and totalitarian ends. The claim, as ugly as it is, doesn't stand up to scrutiny. In fact, Kamala Harris is the one who's offered radical plans with a totalitarian flavor. Kamala Harris is the one who tried to censor Donald Trump, actually calling for him to be thrown off social media. She's open to expanding the number of justices on the Supreme Court, just because she doesn't like the way the court rules. And the Harris campaign has promised to eliminate the Senate filibuster to make Roe v. Wade the law of the land. Ignore the name-calling and look carefully at Kamala Harris's plans. Then vote accordingly. I'm Carol Platt-Liebau.
If your approach to everyday aches and pains is to mask them, feel better for a few hours only to have the pain return and then repeat the cycle all over again, it's time to try Relief Factor. And the good news is Relief Factor makes that easy. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it. How? Well, its unique formula of ingredients helps support your body's response to inflammation. Relief Factor was developed by doctors. It's 100% drug-free. And for so many people, the results are game-changing, even life-changing. So give it a try. Right now, their 3-week quick start is just $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. See how in a few weeks or even days, Relief Factor can reduce your pain. When you feel better, life is just better. So don't mask pain. Fight it naturally with Relief Factor.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. If we want to preserve our constitutional republic, we need an informed and educated citizenry. And that's what this show is all about. Find out what's really happening. It's time to stop the lies and learn the truth. This is The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me tonight. It is The Real Story with Jeannie Ives. If you're driving around, man, this is going to be a earth-shattering night. I've got a special guest with me. Here's just a sample of who is with me co-hosting tonight.
This is where the angels and the devils fight, and they're choosing up sides, all right? Me, I'm part man, part monkey, all mystery. And the angels and the devils are playing tug of war with my personality. Let's hope good wins. Let's hope God wins.
Yeah, welcome,
That's
Mancow.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, the little pre-recorded thing said this may be pre-recorded. This is live.
Oh, yeah, we're live.
And
Absolutely.
that is so rare. I don't think people realize.
Mm-hmm.
You put on WLS, you put on anything. It's all fake. It's all pre-recorded. It's all canned. And this is live radio. This is live without a net. And this is the way to do it.
Yep, this you and me and the audience that's listening. And we're hoping we have callers. So that's 312-642-5600.
Good luck.
Call in because we've got a lot to talk about. This is, I call this our pregame election review about what's going on. Pregame, just like, football.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, a big shout out to my Army team. It's got the longest winning streak apparently in college football. Number 12 just beat Air Force.
Yeah.
Got to beat Navy so we can win that Commanders-in-Chief trophy again. So,
I went to community college, and I don't think we had a football team.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, no, it's football's fun. Anyway, yeah. And by the way, you know what? It's high school football playoffs too. They just had first round. That's always a lot of fun.
God, I feel like I'm talking to Ramblin' Ray.
Oh no, I
don't
so
care
sorry.
about high school football.
Oh, I know.
I don't care about football. I don't care about the Bears. It's bread and circus.
Yeah.
It's moronic. It's who cares? But whatever. I'll act like I care.
Okay.
It's your show.
Yeah, you know.
But I always faked it. I never cared. This is for morons to sit. Oh. And I don't care. And, those thugs, if they were in the parking lot, you'd get away from them as quick as you could. But yet, put a piece
kind of like the thug who got
Yeah.
arrested down in Florida for speeding in his car and then had a, brush up with the police and didn't know how to act. And now he wants to sue them. I mean, what the hell? That is in such bad taste. Right. But but everybody else wants to talk about football.
No.
I mean, they do. Taylor Swift,
No. That's
Travis
all fake.
Kelce,
That's all fake. That's all
that,
arranged.
right?
That's a fake relationship. You know what, Jeannie? I'm going to
Okay.
tell you
All
what,
right. That's
what
good.
people are talking about.
Yeah.
They're talking about Peanut.
The Peanut the squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
and this is just
But
big.
I think that's insane too. I'm
What?
sorry. I think
What?
that them talking about that is
no,
insane too.
you're wrong.
Okay, tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm not
This is
doing.
great.
I mean, Jane Curtin and Dan Aykroyd here. We're not doing point counterpoint. I'm just telling you why I disagree with you. It is a big story, and I'll tell you why. The government came in and killed this guy's pets. And this is our government at work. And this is democratic government. This is your communism. This is your democratic communism. And this is what we're fighting against. This is what we're fighting against in Chicago. This is what we're fighting against in America. And it's this creeping communism where, and you
are right. You're right. If they can take out your pet squirrel that you've had for years, what else are they going to do?
And
right?
like maybe your kid wants to have his genitals mutilated. So, okay.
Oh, no,
you have no
they're fine
say in
with
it.
that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Kamala is fine with that. Trump's not. I mean, this will all go. People are going to make a big decision on Tuesday. We'll see where they go.
Well,
can we take a quick call? This guy wants to thank me for bringing you back.
She smells like I met her. I spent some time with Kamala at the #1 show in Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose. And Willie Brown was on my show quite frequently, and she smelled like a turtle tank. I'll never forget. She smells like a turtle tank. Anyway.
So what does Doug Emhoff see in her?
What's that?
What's Dougie see in her?
Himself. Oh, God. Stop it. Oh, get out of here. Oh, my God.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a call quick because
Let's
we got
do
them
it.
lined up right already. Megan from Evanston, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Happy to be on. Thank you, Jeannie, and thank you, Mancow. So, Jeannie, you were very supportive of our campaign. Jim Gelderman, Illinois 17, House District 17. And we just wanted to thank your support and also for bringing Mancow back to the airwaves. My morning commute is not the same. Love it, and I miss you guys. So, Jeannie, thank you, and Mancow. Everybody, vote, vote, vote. Illinois 17, Jim Gelderman. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Great.
I say no to everything, but I owe Jeannie back from when I was running for a day for governor. and I realized what that was.
Talked him off the cliff.
Well, I realized what it was all about, and that's why I didn't run for governor. So
Yeah.
I owe Jeannie, and that's why I'm here. I say no to everything. I'm really quite done with it, and I don't want to be part of the noise, and I don't want to be part of any of this. Not your show, Jeannie, in particular, but 76 have already voted. 76 million have already voted, they say.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how to vote right now, it's beyond the fact that I find it all just so stupid. And we play the game, and I've seen behind the curtain. I've worked the voting booths. Jeannie, you know it's fake.
Yep.
So, God, too big to rig. Well, is it too big to line us all up and kill us? I mean, that's what the communists do. That's what will happen. And I'm not being overly dramatic. I mean, we're talking about communists. We're not talking about Democrats we grew up with. We're not talking about Harry Truman, who I met as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Best Truman I used to see all the time. I grew up in that part of Missouri. This is really serious and too big to rig. You don't think they're going to steal it?
Well,
They've stole every election in Chicago. You think they care if Chicago burns? It's happened twice already. They don't. Well, 3 times if you count the cow. They don't care.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that is the question: is what are they going to do? Actually, Mike Benz was on a podcast, and he's the intellectual guy who's been talking about free speech, free internet, all that, and he essentially said that they game plan this in 2020, essentially how they could steal the election if Trump won. And
What does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
Well, that means that they had a plan. They actually went through this scenario. What happens? What do we do if Trump wins?
Well, you saw ABC broadcasting the results.
Right, I saw that. Yes.
It was just a dry run. A dry run for what? Stealing the election.
Well, that's because the media has to be involved in the steal. So that's what they were game planning in 2020. What happens if Trump wins? And so it's exactly what you saw. Trump's up on the election night, and then as the mail vote by mail comes in, it turns blue, and they win. And then The other part of that game plan, which they did not have to do because people just capitulated and fell in with it. The other part of the game plan was essentially if you're out there talking about how the vote by mail was a problem, early voting was a problem. If you're talking about any of that, they're going to shut you down social media wise. They're going to go after you. And, that is, I don't know. I think that they probably have that plan.
It's happened to me in such a brutal way. Mm-hmm. And, I just can't even tell you the censorship that goes on. Wait, I thought I'd get out of radio and it would be great on the internet. It's 100 times worse. But Jeannie, and I had the same argument with Amy Jacobson, who I love in the mornings here. And please, I'm not trying to be a problem, but you're asking me to believe in Oz. And I've seen behind the curtain. I was on Fox News Channel every day. I know all these people. I know it's fake. So we have to we have to just play along with this facade. And you know it's fake. You and I've talked about this. God, I hope people get out and vote. For what? Yes, I vote. I'm going to vote on Tuesday. I'm not trying to be a problem. I hope I don't anger you. But it's fake. You're asking people to bet on the Globetrotters or the Generals or bet on Rocky versus Clubber Lang. It's fake.
All right, let's take a call here. Kelly from Chicago.
Don't you know it's fake? Didn't you get the election stolen from you, and yet you're telling people to sit and vote?
Well, yeah, you still got to.
But why? No. Why are we doing it? Why are we playing this game?
Well, because we right now we don't have a choice. What are we going to do?
That's right.
We don't have a choice. We have to vote. We absolutely have to vote.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming. All we can do is vote.
That's all we can do right now.
But our founding fathers were very clear what we needed to do.
Okay,
Am I willing to do it? Probably not.
Here, you know what we're going to do?
Probably not.
But Mancow, here's the deal. There are some states that do it right, and if it doesn't, if it's not working in Illinois, your only defense is to move to a state where it's at least you're somewhat defended from.
My taxes just shot up again. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yes, they did.
Do you remember
$300 million more.
Do you remember
what?
Do you remember it can't get worse? Do you remember that? Remember that? It can't get worse than Lori Lightfoot, and I kept saying, this is Chicago. We can really get worse shiznit than this. Are you kidding?
Talk about some buyer's remorse. Okay, let's hear from Kelly in Chicago. Welcome to the program.
Kelly.
Hi, Jean. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Mancow.
Hi,
How
Kelly.
are you?
I'm blessed by the best. Thank you.
So happy to hear you, speaking about the election and listening here with my children, my family. Just concerned about what happened in 2020. Mm-hmm. When do you think they will officially call the election this year? Will it be Tuesday? Will it be a week from Tuesday? Because we know they're going to cheat like they did before. So my concern is a lot of people are early voting. But is Fox News going to call it again Tuesday night at 3 a.m? And what are your thoughts,
Kelly,
on that?
Kelly, what you've just done is you're causing me to blow up the Death Star right now at the beginning of the movie. We're going till 9 o'clock. Jeannie, I have the answer. Do you want to have the answer?
Go ahead. No, I don't.
Okay.
She wants to hear what your answer is.
Well,
anyway.
I have a direct line into Trump, and I will be. I cannot go into details because I'm not supposed to. But
how can you have a direct line into Trump and then just say what you said?
I'm going to tell
prior to this.
I'm going to
like saying that it's going it's useless.
Well, because
how can you have a direct line
I don't want to name drop and people think I'm using them to name drop. And I'm going to have all the info a half hour before anybody else, and I can't tell you how, but I will tell you. I'll tell you what Trump thinks, and I know because I heard this from Trump. He wasn't speaking to me, but I heard him talking to a mutual friend of ours. And here's the deal: if you know 9:30 or 10 o'clock Tuesday night, Chicago time, and Pennsylvania, right? That's it. That's the trigger. If Pennsylvania, he wins Pennsylvania. I don't care what they say. If he wins Pennsylvania, he's won. Now they may still steal it. If it goes into multiple days, if you don't know Tuesday night before you go to bed, that's when they start farming the votes. That's when Kamala's cronies go to work, and then it'll be a Kamala presidency. If you don't know Tuesday night by 9:30 or 10 o'clock Chicago time, it's Kamala, and it's stolen. That's what Trump thinks, and that's what I think, and that's what I'm saying.
I think you're absolutely right. Okay, we got to take a short break. Callers, hang on. We'll be right back with more of Mancow.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The American military brings together brave men and women from across the country who have chosen to answer the call when their country needs them most. At aviatorfuel.com, we know the military because we live the military life. With books written by a Navy pilot and run by a hard-working military spouse, aviatorfuel.com is proud of our service and our country. That's why we never compromise on authenticity. Our cocktail books are modeled off the real Army, Navy, and Marine pilot checklists that military aviators have used for decades. But instead of a procedure on how to handle an engine fire, you'll find the procedure for how to make a mojito. From classic recipes to military specials like the Queen of Battle or the Afterburner, our cocktail books have something special for every veteran. So go to aviatorfuel.com and get ready to raise a glass to the brave men and women who serve our country. That's aviatorfuel.com.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment. Each contract you own will pay $1 on January 8, 2025, if that candidate is confirmed as the next U.S. president by Congress. Learn more about the presidential election contracts on Robinhood at www.robinhood.com/election. The risk of loss in trading commodity interests can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Commodity interest trading is not appropriate for everyone. Display prices are based on real-time market sentiment. This event contract is offered by Robinhood Derivatives, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Exchange and regulatory fees apply. This station does not recommend any specific investment.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Going on 72 in July. I swim. I'm a swimmer. I play pickleball and I play golf. And I have to say, Balance of Nature really, I feel like I could sing.
I like the product and I'm telling a lot of people about it.
It's the best stuff in the world. It's good stuff.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
We now return to the real story. Here's your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right. Welcome back. It's The Real Story, 312-642-5600. And I am so honored to have Mancow as my co-host tonight. He just brings a lot of energy and knowledge. And so before we get to some calls, though, Mancow, tell me, this is really the question I want to ask you. You've been watching politics for a long time. You've been through a lot of election cycles here in Illinois, but you've been watching nationally as well. Have you ever seen something like this election under these circumstances? And I'm talking about the biggest bunch of BS that you've seen from the policy front. These people are so far apart from each other, and it's so detrimental to the average American. Why is it even this close in the polls? This should be a landslide. What is going on?
It's not.
What's going on?
It's not. I don't believe any of the numbers.
Okay.
I don't believe any of it.
Okay, but you just said
it's all hogwash. No. Do I believe there are a lot of look?
I know people that are voting for. You should see the Waltz Harris signs in Wheaton.
You should see them in
Wheaton's
Wilmette.
No longer concerned.
It makes me sick.
Yeah,
it makes me sick.
Well, they're voting for this garbage.
Listen. I got it. Look, this is a Christian nation. Obama said it's not. It is a Christian nation, and we are so far away from God, and these people are so lost. When your number one platform is what? Well, women's health, right? And the poor little squirrel, he got euthanasia. No, they killed the squirrel. And abortion is another word for what? I don't want to lower the quality of the conversation here, but that's your number one issue?
Yes.
That you won't be able to abort a baby up until 9 months? That's ball. That's satanic. This goes back to the beginning of time. Since recorded history, the slaughter of babies. These are sacrifices. This is evil. These people are evil. Now, look, they could have the veil over their eyes, but these are lost people that have a Kamala sign in their front yard. And then the cuck, the dancing little whatever that guy is.
Oh.
That little femme, that little
he's terrible.
what do they call
Okay,
him?
speaking of him-
That gelding. Yes.
All right. Okay. So
What
they
man votes for that?
no. I mean, what tampons in the boys' bathroom? Oh, I can tell you.
Yeah.
You know who votes for tampons in the boys' bathroom?
Who's this?
Oh, people like Patrick Joyce, state senator down in conservative Kankakee. He votes for tampons in the boys' bathroom. Yet all the Democrats vote for tampons in the boys' bathroom. That's what they did because they're idiots in the state, and they're just as bad. So when this came out, like this big revelation, oh, Tim Walz, he signed a law saying tampons are in the boys' bathroom. I'm like, that's old news. That's freaking old news. Illinois did that like 4 years ago. What the hell?
Jeannie, I cannot say it on the radio.
Okay.
I cannot. Do you know they make themselves need tampons and where they put them?
No.
Yes.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay,
Yeah.
that's gross.
Yeah, and this is
Okay, but
no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So SNL did their sort of pre-election, oh, we're going to support Kamala and Tim Walz, so they did their little skit and everything. And by the way, there's a question mark on whether or not they violated FEC in terms of fair use, right? Fair time. But here's what their skit was with Tim Walz. Take a listen.
Wow, I never thought I'd see Trump do that with a microphone.
What is happening?
I don't know. I mean, Fox News was telling MAGA husbands that if their wives secretly vote for you, it's the same as cheating.
Well, I wish I had time to personally knock on the door of any of those women and say, girl. Girl.
And what does girl mean?
It means girl.
I gotta be honest, guys. I'm gonna miss the campaign, especially spending
is Tim
time here in
Walz.
Pennsylvania. The other day, I had a cheesesteak egg roll. What happens when different cultures? It's so beautiful. Come together. It's special.
No, wow, Tim. You see beauty in so many fried things.
All right, I gotta get out of here. AOC and I are gonna play Fortnite on Twitch.
Wow, that is.
Wow. I mean, actually, though, when you think about it, that's how juvenile their entire campaign has been.
Yeah,
it really is.
And SNL, what happened? What? God, you remember? Oh no.
Well, I got a Kamala clip too.
It used to be
that we'll
entertaining.
play
Yes,
later. Yeah.
yes, that was really unfunny. You didn't think that was funny, Jeannie?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
All right.
no,
All
no.
right.
I'm just saying it was super juvenile. That's why I was pointing this out. Like this is what they're making fun of because they think it's funny that he's doing this stuff. No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then did you catch the little some sort of hot dog and an egg roll thing?
No,
right, because it's a Chinese
No,
communist
wait.
lover.
There is a cheesesteak egg roll, which is a
Oh, there
beautiful
is.
combination of two cultures.
okay.
And I have to agree with Tim on this.
All
It is
right.
delicious. I'm not kidding you. It is.
Well, you are a foodie.
It
So,
is- I am a
I mean,
food guy.
you just got back from Portugal. You were showing me.
They have a
the
sandwich
food
there that's their
sandwich
version
there,
of the croque madame that is delightful. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then let's take this call from Billy. Billy in Chicago.
Hi, Billy.
Thanks for coming on.
Billy.
Hey, Jeannie. Jeannie, thanks for taking my call. Mancow, love your show.
Ah, thank you. I don't have a show, but if I did, he would love it.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. What's
Jeannie,
up?
Jeannie, keep fighting. So, I firsthand experienced the summer of 2020 with all the riots here in Chicago. So my question to you is, when Trump wins, is our city going to have those riots again and just mayhem?
Well, my answer is who cares? I mean, save the country or worry about Chicago burning again. And they could stop it. They let it happen. We all stood there and watched as these, animals destroyed our city 2 times. And I was chased down the street with a guy with a club past the Tribune building yelling racist things at me. But then I was told to say that they're righteous protesters. They were nothing righteous. They were looting and stealing, defecating in stores. These are their heroes. And Hitler had the brown shirts, and these people have, what is it, the blammers. The Blammers and Antifa, and they're good little Nazis when they need them. It's funny, they love throwing that Nazi thing around, that fascist thing around, and Trump and all of us that love them we're far from that. But boy, they love using that.
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah.
and if riots break out, they're not going to do anything. They're just it's going to.
No,
be,
they'll show it on TV. This is Trump's fault.
But remember at the DNC, right? It was all guarded, big fences out, large perimeters, tons of cops. They brought them in from everywhere. And for that they'll defend, but if they're going to riot over Trump, then they're going to riot over Trump.
No,
that
they're going to encourage it. Yeah,
they're going to encourage it. Absolutely.
For these riots, they place rocks all over the city, right? They place rocks and pallets of bricks. And do you know, Jeannie, Pelosi and her secret tunnel out and all that? Do you know that there is a secret way out of Chicago? You know, there's a whole freeway under the freeway, right? And people are going to think I'm crazy. You know, this is true. Nothing would ever happen to Brandon or any of these people, right? I've been on this freeway. They have a freeway out of the city. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
You're not talking about Lower Wacker.
No, it's different than that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You can see its entrance over where I got married at the Hilton.
Okay, Palmer Hilton?
Yeah, you can see it. I shouldn't have said this. You think I'm crazy? I'm telling you,
No, I just never heard it.
The cops know about it.
I mean, my husband's been down in the gigantic tunnel for all of the water to go through, and it's a massive undertaking. It's huge. People don't even know about that.
But these
so
people,
they have all sorts of stuff.
They have
underground.
no fear.
Idea.
Pelosi wasn't afraid. I wish these politicians had a little fear.
Yeah, but you know what they don't have. You know what we don't have. We don't have any pipelines. We have no pipelines in Mancow. There's nothing wrong in this state.
Thank God.
No. There's no pipelines.
Yeah.
Like this is the stupidity of these people. Like, we got to ban pipelines. We can't have anything going that way. I went to, in fact, an oil refinery in Lamont, the Citgo one, and I asked the guy because I was really pissed at that point in time. They were trying to shut down the pipeline coming in from
Alaska.
Right. They were trying to shut that one down. I asked the guy. I said, "Look, how much of your oil goes out of a pipeline?" 90%. I said, well, can you tell the Democrats that are here that want to shut down the pipelines that are coming in? Can you tell them there's nothing wrong? You've been operating here for decades safely, and they want to complain to you. My problem with the reason I bring this up is they know nothing about nothing. It doesn't matter what topic it is. They actually don't know what's going on.
I disagree.
The people that are the lawmakers, they just are obedient slobs.
No, but there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it, Jeannie. If they're going to enslave us, if they're going to have the 15-minute cities, they have to have cars they can shut off.
All right,
Why would Illinois, when we're going through this pain, why would they crank up the gas tax? It can never come down. We can never have. I remember Trump $1.45 a gallon. They can never have that. Yeah. What hits poor people? What hits people? Everybody. Energy. You control the energy. Right. You control the health care. You control the schools to brainwash them. Good little brainwashing emporiums, turning them into good little, little commies. No, this is by design. Don't think they're not that stupid.
Right. We got a hard break. Hang on, callers. We'll take your calls after this break. We have a hard break here. All right. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, we'll be right back with Mancow.
November 2nd, 2020, marked the 100th anniversary of the first commercial radio broadcast. We're still here, and we're bigger and better than ever. You can still listen to us over this great radio station, but now there are no limitations. Your smartphone is now your smart radio. Listen to us online on the app, TuneIn.com, iHeartRadio, and Odyssey.com. Your smart speaker can find us too. With radio, there is no separation anxiety. We're always on. AM 560, The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Ann Carrick. 2 more days until Election Day. Vice President Harris appearing on ABC's Saturday Night Live last night, but no invite for former President Trump, according to his campaign. FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr telling Fox News Digital it's a violation of equal air rules.
NBC knows this because this exact issue has come up time and time again with respect to this exact program, SNL.
Lorne Michaels, executive producer of SNL, telling The Hollywood Reporter in September neither candidate would be on the show. One election issue, the war between Israel and Hamas. Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell telling Fox's America's Newsroom the fighting needs to stop.
You can do both. We've got to do something about Gaza. We should have had a ceasefire.
Trump promising to supply Israel with weapons. America's listening to Fox News.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment. Each contract you own will pay $1 on January 8, 2025, if that candidate is confirmed as the next U.S. president by Congress. Learn more about the presidential election contracts on Robinhood at www.robinhood.com/election. The risk of loss in trading commodity interests can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Commodity interest trading is not appropriate for everyone. Display prices are based on real-time market sentiment. This event contract is offered by Robinhood Derivatives, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Exchange and regulatory fees apply. This station does not recommend any specific investment.
Attention parents, your child may be eligible for extra food benefits this summer thanks to a new program. The Summer EBT program will provide $120 per eligible child for families to buy groceries when school is out. These benefits are in addition to free summer meals available at schools, camps, and parks. To learn more about Summer EBT and if your child qualifies, please visit WeGotYouIllinois.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Commission to End Hunger, aired in cooperation with this station and the Illinois Broadcasters Association.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Turks and Caicos, and much more. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both be sharing insights into current events in a way I hope energizes and challenges you. Secure your spot before space runs out by calling 855-565-5519 or book online at PragerCruise.com.
Life takes a toll on our bodies. No way around it. Whether it's sitting hours on end at your computer or working a physical job, over time your body pays the price. There is, however, an effective way to turn back the clock on pain, Relief Factor. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. The difference? Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pains that come with living a full life are affecting you, do as so many others have. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. When you feel good, it's amazing how much more you get out of life. So visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Try it for only $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain. Turn back the clock with Relief Factor.
The Real Story with Jeannie Ives continues on AM 560. The Answer.
All right, welcome back. It's The Real Story. And we're going to take a quick call before we get to our next guest, who is Democrat Jack Franks.
I'm going to punch him in the face. Is he going to be in the studio?
No, he's not.
I will punch him in the face.
No, you can only verbally assault him, and even then, I'm gonna have to play.
I want to punch him.
I'll have to play referee here. Okay, Frankie from Wrigleyville, welcome.
Jeannie, I love the show. It was great seeing you yesterday at the Freedom Summit. Your panel was top notch.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. And Mancow, it's so great to hear you back on the radio. I think you should be on this station nonstop every day.
I couldn't agree with you less. No, it was great. It's great. Thank you.
So you're very welcome. My question to you guys is, being a lifelong person from Chicago, I firmly believe that there is no Republican presence in Chicago for sure, but in the state of Illinois. And then the Republicans that are in the state of Illinois, the RNC, I think they're a bunch of rhinos, and they're not out getting a message, and that's why we don't even get Republicans to run for mayor of Chicago every election cycle. Do you guys agree that the RNC in Illinois is a joke?
Jeannie?
Well, I'm on State Central Committee, so this is, and I got on to try and figure out how the sausage is made or what they do or don't do. And I'll tell you what, it's improved, but there's a lot of people here who don't understand what the state party's function is and what the regular people, or what the candidate's function is. And they think that the state party should run campaigns. We don't run campaigns. That said, we've done a lot of work on election integrity, although it's not as good as it needs to be. And really, the local precinct committeemen and their organizations, the townships, the county, they have more impact than the state party ever can. The state party, though, is ignored by the media here, and rightly so, because we don't say enough. But I'm not in charge of communications. We don't say enough. We don't take them on. We don't beat the drums. We're not out on the radio all the time. We're not talking on the TVs, and we get ignored. And so the message doesn't get out. That is definitely true. We also have a problem, and I'll just be honest with you. The leadership that should be saying stuff is the minority leader in the House and the Senate. They should be railing against these policies all the time. But again, even when they do, the media doesn't cover them. And if you're not hearing it, then it doesn't seem like it's happening. But I will tell you this. There is energy. I mean, I've seen more Trump signs out this election cycle than in 2020 for sure, no doubt. And even more than 2016. People are fed up. It is happening. But let's face it. We've had so much massive migration. And every time in my precinct a Republican leaves, a Democrat moves in for the most part. And that's just how it's going. They're moving out to the suburbs. They've taken over the suburbs. And they've got a god-awful amount of money. I mean, the unions just keep funneling money to the Democrats. You've got people that are have no business whatsoever putting their name on a ballot. I mean, not two brain cells. All they're doing is commercials about, abortion and you name it. Yep. They're up on TV. The Democrats have spent in the last 2 months $1 million on this, on what used to be my former state legislative race district in, not mine. It's not mine. It's the people's seat. But, I actually was the state rep there for 6 years. They're spending $1 million to take out the current state rep, the Republican, who's been there for 6 years. They're spending $1 million in this one district for a woman who doesn't have two brain cells, I don't think. And that's part of the problem. But thank you for your question, Frankie. Hey, we're going to bring Jack Franks right in right now. Jack, thanks so much for coming on the program. This is not a hostile...
Yes, it is. I'm going to punch him in the... I wish he was here so I could punch him in the face.
You guys must have some history.
Jack, am I your best friend?
By far.
No. We are very close. And Jack is a communist piece of garbage, and I'm a God-fearing great American. I'm a patriot.
You are.
And no, Jack, we
love each other.
We do love each other, but we do not agree on politics. And by the way, this is the way America should be. I really mean that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I got along with Jack when I was down there.
I know.
Yeah.
You're like one of the few Republicans other than me that he likes. And by the way, Jeannie, everything you said about Republicans, well, I disagree. I think they're castrados. They're neutered. They've lost the moral high ground.
I mean,
they're trying to be Democrats to get the Democrats. It doesn't work. They should have stayed Republicans and not rhinos, real Republicans, real conservatives.
You're right. We have Adam Kinzinger, for example. We have Pat Brady. Pat Brady cut a commercial against me when I was running for Congress, and they had him up as the Republican spokesperson on media. That's how slammed the media is, though. Pat Brady is a POS.
Do you know what I flush has more talent than those two? Okay. So Jack.
But Jack.
Yes.
Jack. Okay. Let's face it. The unions are the unions, and I say the unions because, it all comes to the Democrat House majority campaign accounts to all these state rep races. But it's the unions that are funneling the money to the Democrat House majority and all the other Democrat parties. This is a union state. This is all special interest. And by the way, do you not have strong enough majorities? Do you not have strong enough majorities that you just need to run the table?
You can thank Bruce Rauner for setting this up.
Yeah.
It was his fault, and that's why you ran against him.
Yeah, I did.
He ruined the Republican Party. I think we need to have a strong second party to keep everybody honest. That's why I ran as a Democrat in McHenry County. And quite frankly, if you want to live like a Republican, I guess you have to vote for Democrats now. Because when I was the chairman of the county, I reduced the property taxes by 11%. I reduced the size of the county board by 25%. I took away their pensions.
He's pro-gun.
I put in term limits.
Yep.
So, the things in McHenry County, we have some of the highest property taxes in the
Yes, you
entire
do.
country.
Yeah.
And it was run entirely by Republicans who were just messing it up. Okay? So this whole idea of party labels don't mean much anymore, because when you see these guys mismanaging when they do have power,
Except
it's
they
easy
do.
to vote against them.
Yeah, but they do have meaning. I mean, I'm telling you, people come in and they move into Wheaton, and they move there because they came out of Chicago, Brookfield, you name it, and they moved in, they took up shop, and they're just like bringing their voting habits there, which is Democrat. They're not actually looking at the policies and the issues, which actually you did do.
Yeah, and that's what you need to do. And we need to get away from this two-party system, because what we have now doesn't really work. I mean, the parties
Well,
I
no,
think both
Jack,
parties
we have it. What do you mean get away from a two-party system? We have a one-party system.
No,
it's called
only
communism.
in Illinois, but no, in other states it's all red. The problem is we've become so polarized. I wish we didn't have the gerrymandering.
Well, that is part of the problem.
People would actually have to talk. Well, yeah. I mean, but you got that. I mean, but think about that. When the legislators are picking their constituents instead of the other way around, we don't ever have to compromise anymore.
Okay, so I could talk with you all night. So let's just move on to the next
please
topic.
don't.
I know. Well, okay.
We
what
can
about,
do better. We can do better.
Okay, what about the Madigan trial?
The Madigan trial is a great question.
It's a great question.
And this is the guy that put Blago in jail, and I want to know how he feels about. I mean, Jack, did he spend too much time in jail? Tell the truth.
Listen, he got more than people who had done violent crimes, but because we have such a pervasive problem of corruption in this state, we needed to send a message. Okay, and it was a very harsh sentence. Okay, but let me tell you, that guy earned every minute of it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I disagree with both of you.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
17 convictions, shaking down a hospital. I mean, this there's nothing redeeming
Children's
about him, and
hospital.
Trump should not have vacated a sentence, in my opinion.
No way.
I have a lot to say, but it's old news. And Jack, what about Madigan?
But
Should
what
he
about
should he be in
Madigan?
jail?
Yeah. What about Madigan?
He said a lot of lies about you when you became his enemy.
Yeah. Right. I think that any politician that gets indicted in Illinois right now is going to be convicted. Okay?
Yeah.
I just think that's where we're at now. So I don't believe that the former speaker has a robust future. I think he will be convicted.
How evil, Jack, how evil is that guy? How evil is Madigan? I've really always thought of him as fully under control of Satan. I know you don't believe that kind of stuff, but he is one evil son of a...
Jack.
He's a complex guy.
No, come on, Jack. No, Jeannie, Jack, hang on. Jack, is Mike Madigan evil or not?
Yes.
Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
You can't step out and say that.
Yes. Listen.
Stand for something, man.
I think he's caused so much harm to so many people.
Yes, he
So
has.
if that's your definition, yes.
Burn.
He's
he should
a
burn.
total power trip. Do you remember the first bill? My first bill, it was in your committee, and I went to you and said, hey, can I have my bill list? Will you hear my bill in committee? He's like, well, I was told to kill it, but because I like you, I'll let you at least have a hearing on it.
Who said this, Jack?
Jack did.
Yeah, then he killed it.
Then he killed the bill because
Of
the
course.
speaker told him to kill the
He's
bill.
so full of shiznit, it's unbelievable.
No,
this guy. I want to punch him. I want to punch him in the face.
that's because Madigan,
Come in here. Get
Madigan
into the station.
controlled everything, Jack. And so you knew it wasn't going to go out of committee anyway. It didn't matter if you had a hearing or not. It wouldn't matter if you had voted for my bill in committee. Everybody else would have been told, don't vote for Ives' bill. The message
but
was
I wanted
sent.
to give you at least the opportunity to have it heard.
Yes, and I appreciated that because at least I had it heard.
Right.
But I mean, then it was, and it didn't go anywhere. So I mean, here's my whole thing about the Madigan thing. Okay, here's my thing, and then we have to go to a break.
He is the devil.
But here's my thing. Okay, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed with him gone.
That's right.
It's still power and control. I mean, I'm not joking. Do you not think that there's not, jobs being traded off or anything else. I think personally that of course that's happening.
Or the mayor's wife.
And of course the lobbyists are being told
a new office. Come on, they're all crooks. Okay. They're all crooks, and they run the system, and everything's gamed. Come on, guys.
We had the lame duck section, and they raised the taxes for people who had actually campaigned on not raising taxes, changed their vote, and then they got jobs in the Quinn administration. So this has been going on for a long time.
Yes.
But the real problem, remember that night? And
Yes.
I was the only person in the House of Representatives who voted against the campaign finance bill. Because it sounds good. How do you vote against campaign finance? And I got up and said, guys, don't you understand? You're empowering the four leaders. And then you're going to enslave yourselves to them because they're the only ones who can raise the dough. So unless you can raise your own money, and there's very few people who can, you are totally beholden to your leadership. And that's endemic on both sides. So this full campaign finance reform that we had ruined our democracy here in Illinois. Ruined it.
Hey, Jack.
People control everything.
Jack, we got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back. Hold on the line because I know you wanted to talk about Israel, and so does Mancow.
I just want to punch him in the face. I wish he was in the studio. That's why I'm here.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Maybe if I'm going on a long hike, several hours, I like to bring some Balance of Nature.
That's some good stuff, I'll tell you.
I've always was taught to eat very healthy growing up. My family was Italian and Greek. We had vegetables and fruits all the time growing up. I feel wonderful. I feel terrific. I love your commercials. I think it's a wonderful way to do this.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
I'm worried about Mom. She's having a tough time moving around the house.
Oh, I know. She still thinks she can do everything on her own.
Exactly, but I've been over there every day this week, helping her navigate the stairs, cooking meals, reminding her to take her medicine. I'm always nervous when I leave.
You know what? I admire you for taking care of Mom. But your family needs you too. And what if she slips and falls? A friend recommended the caregivers at Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. They service Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. They guarantee compatibility and they'll conduct a free safety assessment of her home. Plus, they'll provide as little or as much care as Mom needs.
Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest, offering both hourly and live-in care. Schedule a free assessment today by calling 331-281-0728. That's 331-281-0728. Again, that's 331-281-0728. And tell them AM 560 sent you. Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. Senior care, only better.
Now, more of The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right. Phone number here, 312-642-5600. But we're still on the line with Jack Franks, a former state representative, former head of the McHenry County Board. But Jack, I asked you to be on. I said, hey, what topic would you like to talk about? And you wanted to talk about Israel. So what about Israel should we be talking about?
Jeannie.
What?
Can I please say something? Please.
Okay. He's schooling me. I'm getting schooled about how to actually run a radio show. This is good. I like it.
I'm not doing that.
What?
No, seriously. 312-642-5600. These calls are incredible. The best I've ever experienced. You have smart people calling on Sunday night. They're awake, unlike with me in the morning, the way it used to be. Jack thinks Biden is a horrible president, and yet he wants Kamala, who's more of the same. Most of my Jewish friends are voting for Kamala, which is just brain dead, and I don't understand it. And yet my friend David Fishoff, who was the Monkees manager and Ringo Starr's manager and others, has a nice place in Jerusalem, and he says, and I've been to Israel numerous times, they're 100% Trump, 100% Trump. And I don't understand the disconnect with Jewish folks like Jack. And by the way, when the Republicans would go after him and use Jewish stuff, I hated it. But I also hate that, he gets to, whenever anyone insults him, I'm Jewish, it's anti-Semitic. I think that's BS too. I think it goes both ways with my friend Jack. I love him. But Jack, why is it every Jew in Israel loves Trump and you guys hate him? What's wrong with you?
Oh, there's a lot wrong with me. How much time do we have now? But
I wanted to hang up on you 20 minutes ago, and you weren't even on.
I get it. Listen, I was in West Palm Beach this morning at the Ibis Country Club, which has, a fairly substantial Jewish population there, and it was overwhelmingly Trump.
Good.
So maybe you're just talking to the wrong one.
Look where you are, though. Look where you are.
But I was just saying that, and that's why I said to Jeannie, we should probably talk about Israel, because Iran, yesterday said that they're going to be bombing Israel, right? Now, Israel is one of America's strongest allies, the only real one in the Middle East, and now they've just said that they're going to attack an ally. Now, Iran has been funding two terrorist organizations deemed by the United States, Hezbollah and Hamas. Now, and luckily, the United States has just sent some folks over to help shoot down some of these missiles. But I would think that if I were Biden, I would say to Israel, why would you wait to get bombed? Why don't you do a preemptive strike? Because they've just said if somebody tells you they're going to go, blow you up, I think you might want to protect your people. And it worries me that, the United States is holding Israel back right now because they don't want to worry about the gas prices before an election. And that really bothers me.
Jeannie, are you listening to this guy? And look, he's welcome to my Thanksgiving table. I think he's spending things. He's a very good friend of mine. And I'm sure you have this with your relatives. Do you hear the disconnect? How insane he is?
Well,
no,
it is
seriously.
Insane. Yeah.
His and a lot of Jewish folks view it the way we view Disneyland. It's a nice place to visit sometime. No, as Israel goes, man, that's a spiritual thermostat. And Biden and Kamala are anti-Israel, and he's going to vote for Kamala. How, you understand?
What
it makes no sense.
What about this disconnect, though? How about the endorsement of the Hamtramck mayor from the Muslim community who just endorsed Trump? That's a disconnect, too.
I love it.
I mean, Trump's on both sides. He is getting Jewish votes. He's going to get all those Jewish votes down in West Palm Beach. Absolutely. But he's also getting this this Hamtramck, Michigan mayor. And actually, I saw the guy. He was on with Maria Bartiromo this morning in the morning show, and it wasn't all just about the conflict over in the Middle East. It was also about the economics of what his people are suffering from, and that's what he said. So they can't afford this. They want the jobs to stay there, and so, I don't know. It's just bipolarism.
Wouldn't you love that spinach chin supreme leader of Iran to be the next one to get? Wouldn't you love them to get him? Wouldn't you love to send him off to his virgins? The problem is they're all donkeys, but they're virgins.
Maybe.
No, seriously, the supreme leader, Jeannie. Yeah. Wouldn't you love to see that guy go bye-bye?
Absolutely.
See you later.
I'm sure he's on somebody's target list. Hey, Jack, we're going to have to get off with you. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and adding a little more levity to the program.
Love you, Jack.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Not without a condom, but I do love you. Okay.
Jack Franks, former state representative. Okay. And we're going to take a quick call. This is my brother, Dominic, actually. Dominic, you're calling in. Thanks. He lives in Illinois, so he's welcome to come on, call my show anytime he wants.
Hey, Jeannie. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're great.
All right. And by the way, after I'm done with my question, if you want, I can share a funny story about Jack Frank's dad, personal exchange that I had with him at the point, if time allows. But
great
nonetheless, Mancow, I'm glad you're on the phone here or on this show tonight. I appreciate that. I don't know if you're familiar with Nate Silver's work, but my son-in-law Dan and I were discussing his statistical analysis of the election, and a week and a half ago he was indicating that all of the analysis he's done it's a dead heat, and then just a couple of days ago he said, "Wow, these polls are really skewing towards Harris," and he says because they're recycling old data and showing an even heat. He says, honestly, when you look deeper into it, and he switched in a week and a half, he's gone from a dead heat to Trump +5.
All right. Hey, Dominic,
that's
all we got time.
I don't believe any of the polls. And I'm not talking about Polish people. I'm talking about the...
All right. Hey, thanks for calling in with that. Really appreciate you. We got to go to break. We'll be right back with the real story.
Your local State Farm agent Anthony DeGrotto combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. You can combine your home, auto, and life insurance to not only save you money, but give you the peace of mind you've been looking for. Anthony DeGrotto is your go-to agent in Chicagoland. He and his team will work for you to provide the best service you expect at the price you want. Combine your home, auto, and life insurance today. Anthony DeGrotto will help you mix and match things perfectly. His State Farm office is a top pick 2024 Daily Herald Reader's Choice Award winner. He's a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers and like-minded as you. His State Farm agency is currently looking to add members at their Roselle office. Call Anthony at 847-895-1500 today or visit DeGrottoSF.com. That's DeGrottoSF.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
When was the last time your financial advisor looked at your tax return? The number one answer we get when we ask this question is never. I'm Matt Nadeau with Pearshell Financial Group of Apollon and host of Chicago's Real Money Pros. Blindly buying or selling an investment without knowing the tax consequences could cause you to trigger a lot of unnecessary taxes. It's always better to avoid a mistake than try to fix one. Make sure you're working with an advisor who understands tax planning and reviews your tax return regularly. Tune in to Chicago's Real Money Pros, where we talk about powerful tax reduction strategies and much more. Visit our website at chicagosrealmoneypros.com, where you can sign up for workshops and get your financial questions answered using the Ask the Experts form. Tune in to Chicago's Real Money Pros every weekend.
Investment advisory services are offered by Apollon Wealth Management, LLC.
We now return to the real story. Here's your host, Jeannie Ives.
Welcome back. It's Jeannie Ives. Co-hosting with me is Mancow. And I want you to hold on. Dewey, we're going to have to take your call in the next hour. So hold on. We'll take that call then. I'm sorry about that. But
These people have been holding for a long time.
I know. I can't help it. These breaks and everything. But I you know what? We've got more election stuff. And Mancow, I'm going to have to tone you down a little bit.
Why?
Well, because we have Cleta Mitchell coming on. And she's a very, prominent lawyer, election lawyer. She understands this stuff. She was Trump's lawyer, as a matter of fact. Unindicted, by the way, though. So we're going to, take the, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a serious conversation with her about election fraud. So that's all I got. We'll be right back.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment. Each contract you own will pay $1 on January 8, 2025, if that candidate is confirmed as the next U.S. president by Congress. Learn more about the presidential election contracts on Robinhood at www.robinhood.com/election. The risk of loss in trading commodity interests can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Commodity interest trading is not appropriate for everyone. Display prices are based on real-time market sentiment. This event contract is offered by Robinhood Derivatives, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Exchange and regulatory fees apply. This station does not recommend any specific investment.
This is Chicago's election station, AM 560 The Answer, WIND Chicago, streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app.
The vice president asks supporters to be intentional about building community. I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris continues to hit the campaign trail with a visit to Michigan State University in East Lansing.
In these final hours, let us remember that there is power in knowing that we are together. And let us remember that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power.
The latest Fox News poll shows Trump leading North Carolina, Harris with the edge in Michigan, and a tie in Pennsylvania. Speaking of Pennsylvania, a key swing state, former President Donald Trump starting his day in Lititz, Pennsylvania, calling into question election integrity.
Look, we have a country with a massive headache, and I would go a lot longer than headache. It would be a much stronger word than the word headache. And We have to solve this problem because we have a mess on our hands.
Georgia Republicans filing a lawsuit regarding a last-minute extension of early voting. Fox's Madison Allworth in Atlanta.
Republicans are suing Fulton County over their last-minute decision to open election offices this weekend and allow absentee ballots to be handed in person. The GOP is also targeting 5 other counties who made similar decisions. The GOP says the move is illegal. It's equating it to using drop boxes, which are not allowed after early voting period ends. Early voting ended on Friday. A Georgia judge, though, they tossed out the initial suit, but Georgia Republicans tell us that a federal lawsuit is imminent and that they will also appeal the decision.
That federal lawsuit now has been filed. The 7 counties involved typically vote for Democrats. Fox News Radio will provide special coverage of Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern. Listen for updates on this channel and online. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight, breezy and mild with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, reaching a low of 58. Tomorrow, breezy and warmer with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, high 68. Tomorrow night, breezy and warm with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 64. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, windy, and mild with a couple of showers. Prepare for wet weather if you're headed out to vote, high 67 Tuesday. I'm Jillian Ford on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
The American military brings together brave men and women from across the country who have chosen to answer the call when their country needs them most. At aviatorfuel.com, we know the military because we live the military life. With books written by a Navy pilot and run by a hardworking military spouse, aviatorfuel.com is proud of our service and our country. That's why we never compromise on authenticity. Our cocktail books are modeled off the real Army, Navy, and Marine pilot checklists that military aviators have used for decades. But instead of a procedure on how to handle an engine fire, you'll find the procedure for how to make a mojito. From classic recipes to military specials like the Queen of Battle or the Afterburner, our cocktail books have something special for every veteran. So go to aviatorfuel.com and get ready to raise a glass to the brave men and women who serve our country. That's aviatorfuel.com.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
Hi, this is Carl Amari.
I'm Lisa Wolf. Join us every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. for all things entertainment on Hollywood 360.
If you love classic radio shows, The Shadow, Jack Benny, The Lone Ranger, Dragnet, Gunsmoke, and many more, we have them for you on Hollywood 360.
We'll also present trivia contests with prizes, showbiz news, celebrity interviews, games, and movie reviews.
So don't miss Hollywood 360 every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. If we want to preserve our constitutional republic, we need an informed and educated citizenry. And that's what this show is all about. Find out what's really happening. It's time to stop the lies and learn the truth. This is The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right, welcome back. It is Jeannie Ives, and with me co-hosting tonight is the incredible and legendary Mancow. And we're going to take a quick call, Mancow, if that's okay.
Yeah.
It's Dewey from Chicago. Dewey, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, Jeannie.
Yeah. So the little T says here, how can anyone still live in Chicago? Well, 2.3 million people still live in Chicago. It is remarkable, isn't it?
Is that your question?
It is. Well, no.
Do you live in Chicago?
I don't anymore, no.
Oh. Why did you leave?
No. Well, because of the peaceful protests, and I felt that the taxes were going to go up to pay for the damages that were, incumbent upon those protests.
And they have. Have.
Yeah, no, then the taxes are going up again. I mean, this whole cat and mouse game. $300 million more property taxes. Oh, no. We're telling Brandon Johnson, no, that's BS. He's going to probably get $500 million in property tax increases. They always go up. These taxes always go up.
Don't we get to vote? Isn't there taxation without representation? Why don't we ever get to vote?
I don't know.
How does Brandon Johnson get to decide? And why do I live in Chicago? Because this is where I raised my kids, and I had a job here for a while, and I still love the area. I don't go to the city very much because of the violence. And of course, if you talk to any cop will tell you, don't go to the city. Don't take your wife and kids to the city. So what are we doing? And what are we paying for? And is it morally wrong for us? My property taxes are, I think, $47,000 a year.
They're immoral. I mean,
but we're contributing to this culture of death, this culture of illegals, this culture of violence. Are we endorsing it by paying these taxes? Is it morally right that we should leave? I mean, I've talked to people that feel that way.
And other people are like, stay and fight. But no, everybody's going to have to make their own decision.
Stay and fight what? It's a fixed fight.
Well, here's the deal. That's why.
We're all communists, communists.
It's even worse. It's even worse, Mancow, when it comes to the legal system. Because if they want to do harm to you, they will do harm to you. So your only remedy is to move to a red state at that point. If you put yourself in a vulnerable situation, you've got to move to a red state. You cannot get a fair shake here in Illinois at all.
You told me to calm down, okay? And that's a new.
No. That's only when Cleta Mitchell comes on. But we're trying still to get her.
That's a new thing. That any emotion is anger. I'm not angry. I'm not, but I am passionate.
Yes, of course.
And I want to tell you, Jeannie, I'm very passionate about my country and my God, and it's very tough to watch this. It really is like watching a train wreck in slow motion or a car wreck in slow motion, and yet I just can't wrap my mind around Menudo. I never got it. The soup plus the band. It was a Latino band, but that I just didn't get it. My point is, I don't get Kamala. When I don't get something, it bothers me. Do you follow what I'm saying? I understood the appeal of Obama, although I knew Obama before he was Obama. Spent hours with him, and I knew what a fraud he was. I knew what he really was. But he talked a good game. What is Kamala offering? Well, the only thing is she's not Trump. She's not the orange Oompa Loompa, as they like to call him, the mean man, the guy that tweets about LeBron. That's it? That's all you got?
Dewey, you're still on the line with us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so where do you live now?
Indiana. I moved to Indiana, just over the border.
Jeannie, I mean, I'm right here. Are you going over to his house? What's happening here?
No,
You're asking listeners where they live? Are you mad at him?
No, I'm just wondering if you moved to a red state or where you moved to.
I don't care where you live, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do.
No, I'm just
you got out, right?
Yeah, he had to get out.
Yeah, and how about your neighbors? You got probably a bunch of neighbors that are from Illinois. I'm betting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that migration is real.
The mass exodus.
Pritzker says none of this is happening, though. No, nothing to see here.
No, it's never been better. Pritzker's great.
Right.
Pritzker is great.
All right, Dewey, hey, thanks a lot. Did you have a question?
Yeah, it was. How can we live in Illinois?
That was it. Yeah. Okay. Well,
have a house here, and
a lot of people
go inside of it.
Yeah,
That's how we live here.
Exactly. I don't know. All right. Thanks a lot.
What would I complain about if I lived in Florida? Oh, the heat, and the Gators. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
500-mile wide storms.
Yes.
Yeah,
that.
Well, we have a condo there now too in Florida, and I have yet to see a gator.
Bragger.
No. We got it for our son because he's going to med school there.
I don't know what that was. I wish I had your. I don't have the answer money. You must really be.
No. I mean,
I'm just messing with you.
It was going to be cheaper. It's going to be cheaper than paying rent down there for 4 years.
I have considered it.
You can flip it.
Worried about insurance and all that kind of stuff. Have you had problems getting insurance? If you want to leave Illinois, and we complain about these taxes, but then the housing insurance is so crazy there. I hear it evens out.
I think it evens out in the end. Yeah, for the most part. But
so the government screws us no matter what we do.
I mean, you're going to school down there. You got to have a place to live. And
I am up to my ankles in crap living in Illinois, and I'm standing on my head, Jeannie.
Yeah, well, you know what? You talk about the frustration.
Enough government. Who wants more government?
You know what's Mancow though? We just got out with. Yeah. Look, it's even worse if you actually went down there and had to try and have a discussion, not even an argument, just like a discussion with these people on public policy down in Springfield. It is so frustrating.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
They know it.
Yeah.
And you can give them all those reasonable arguments, and they will not vote the right way. Do you know, every single Democrat has a failing grade when small business rates their votes. So small business comes in and says, hey, we're looking at these 8 pieces of legislation specifically. Every single Democrat has a failing grade against small business. And the way they do, they pop up a commercial like, I'm all about small business. It's all such a lie. And then the voters would wake up, we would have change. I'm telling you, at least at the local
They're
level.
not going to.
At least at the local level.
And the black vote. I love this. Oh, the black vote. It's not. They're Democratic. Sorry.
Okay, but you all right.
It's minuscule.
Okay, so here's the crap. My school district is selling me right now. By the way, you need to vote too, because there's all sorts of referendums on the ballot as well. Our school districts run a referendum. Literally, they hired, and this is another problem with Republicans. They hired a former state rep who has his own consulting firm right now.
Perfect.
Okay. They hired him, Ed Sullivan's consulting firm, to do the consulting.
Ed Sullivan?
Yeah, they hired him
dead.
to sell. They hired him to sell the referendum to the public, and they hired Core Strategies, a Republican strategy group, to do the campaign to sell the referendum. It's a $151.5 million referendum, which at a minimum is going to be really $210 million with interest. And they're selling it. Their signs say, modernize our middle school and lower your taxes. It's such a lie. It's an absolute lie. They cannot guarantee that anybody's taxes will be lower, period, full stop, because they're going to tax the max, and then you're going to have a reassessment come in on top of that, and you're going to get screwed.
Jeannie Ives.
And then people bitch about their property taxes, and they're going to vote for this referendum.
This is a very unfriendly state to do business in, as you know.
Yes.
And you think about Trump as a businessman. I mean, he just kind of destroyed everything. He kind of destroyed everything that I believed in. Really, I mean, no, in a good way. I mean, he ripped the veil away, right? I mean, look at everything he did so quickly.
Right.
And all we have is these lawyers and all you talk about. I mean, I wonder about when you go to Springfield and even people like Pelosi or Biden and Brandon Johnson and John Kerry and Jane Fonda. I mean, are they human beings or are they just soulless cadavers that have been filled with some sort of evil that motivates and animates their being? We really saw with Trump that it's all lawyers. Everybody's. Are you a lawyer?
No.
Oh, everybody's a lawyer. No. And you know what do lawyers like to do? Lawyer and argue. They get nothing done. And yes, they're so bad.
So what about Elon Musk coming in and essentially saying, I can cut $1 trillion out of the budget like that? And
yeah. Look, I love what he did. I love it. Love what he did at Twitter. Wouldn't you love to walk into the DMV and go, you're fired? Wouldn't you love to? And I've got one nice lady, but usually the post office, they just treat you like garbage. Look at the school teachers you had that were horrible. How many school teachers did you have that were any good? I had 1 or 2 that were decent. The rest were hacks. I mean, just imagine somebody come, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. I thought we should have gotten more of that with Trump. Maybe he'll do it this time around. No, I would love that. But Elon, have you seen these robots? And I'm being really serious.
No,
here.
I have not seen this.
A friend of mine is one of the top people, and he says he whispers some things that's coming. I mean, these robots at $30,000 that can do anything a human being can do. Is he the friend of mankind? Honest to God, I'm serious. Have you seen what they?
No, but
it'll be your friend. It'll it'll babysit your kid.
Oh, I'm not into that, but I mean.
So as they use eugenics with all of these shots and thin the herd, we can be replaced by robots.
Yeah,
and then the police force will be robotic. I'm telling you.
No, we can't do that. They
wait.
can do dirty jobs.
Wait.
Robots should be doing the dirty jobs,
wait.
like, truthfully, like mining lithium, if that's what they want to do. But they should not be doing
Can I tell you
personal jobs.
To me, that hit home.
How can you have a robot watch your kid? That's BS. Okay, let's take this call from John. John from Peatone. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining me.
Hi. So I have a question, and this is all very simple. What did Obama say the very first comment when he came out and accepted the nomination? Do you remember what he said?
Yeah, it was Salam Aleika, Oliver Clark Bar, something like that. Al Akbar. Wasn't that it?
No. And this is not even funny.
Salami and bacon. Salami and bacon. What do they say?
Years. Wait a minute. He said he was going to change the country fundamentally.
Yes, sir.
I knew right then and there we were in trouble.
He's done it. He's done it, boy.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, being an election judge for 36 years has opened my eyes to the average voter to being KISS. You know what that means, correct?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid.
I was thinking about Gene
Yes.
Simmons and Paul Stanley and Kiss. Rock and roll all night. Keep it simple, stupid.
Mancow.
Do you believe in voting? Look, I worked voting booths in Chicago. I don't believe. I just think it's fake. But do you believe?
Yeah.
Do you believe we should vote? You were a voting judge. Should we vote?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
And you know, I was a poll watcher today in Will County, and I knew the minute a cloud was in the sky that people wouldn't show up.
Well, that's depressing.
Jeez.
I mean, it's so sad.
Was he at a gentleman's club? What's he talking about? He's a poll watcher.
I don't know.
Okay,
but
I
you
got
know what? Remember who is running the whole show, and it's not all the usual subjects. It is only Obama.
Well, it's China.
Well,
and by the way, all this stuff,
You know what?
anyone that's listening to me going, oh, he's crazy, whatever, just wait. Just remember this. And nobody ever calls up and apologizes.
And Pritzker's in on all the China stuff. I mean, why would you let Goshen come in and give
we
him
have been
$500
sold
billion?
out. How about our generals calling and telling China, Willie or whatever his name is?
Millie.
If before we do anything, the guy, is he the guy that wears a dress? No, who's the guy? One of the guys wears a dress, which always makes me laugh. Men in dresses, Monty Python. It's funny, as we talked about. But
that's a Navy commander.
But remember, he told China, before we do anything, I'm going to call you. Why is that person not, executed for treason?
I don't
treason.
know.
These are traitors. They're all traitors, these people. Who's selling land to China near our bases?
Well, the other problem here is
We're selling them farmland?
The left saying, oh, he's going to go after his political enemies. No, if Trump, look, we need accountability. Look at all these people.
Yeah.
How about Blinken, who set up the Hunter Biden letter, and then you have Mike Morrell, who was the deputy CIA director. He's the one who then shopped it around to the 51 intel officers, and he's still sitting as a senior fellow at the
Why is
Counterterrorism
Fauci
Center.
not in jail? Why do we allow Bill Gates to continue on?
Well,
Come on.
At least Bill Gates is in. He's indicted in Denmark, is it? I think.
Yeah, no. Other
Netherlands.
country are
Yeah.
getting.
Yeah,
Let me
over
tell you
the
something.
back shot.
These people are terrible. And
Yeah.
let me say something else. I have a thesaurus, and it's terrible.
Okay.
It's the only word I could come up with.
All right. Thanks a lot for your
Terrible.
call, John. We have to go to break, and we'll be right back. Thanks for joining me on The Real Story with Jeannie Ives.
This radio station is always on, but sometimes you need more content that you can take with you anywhere. That's why we invented the SalemPodcastNetwork.com. You'll find all the great hosts on this radio station, plus a few more, like Charlie Kirk, Dinesh D'Souza, Trish Regan, Jenna Ellis, and Dennis and Julie. There's literally no end to what we can teach you. It's like radio on demand, and just like radio, it's always on. Go find out what you're missing. Download the app, SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
If your approach to everyday aches and pains is to mask them, feel better for a few hours only to have the pain return and then repeat the cycle all over again, it's time to try Relief Factor. And the good news is Relief Factor makes that easy. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it. How? Well, its unique formula of ingredients helps support your body's response to inflammation. Relief Factor was developed by doctors. It's 100% drug-free, and for so many people, the results are game-changing, even life-changing. So give it a try. Right now, their 3-week quick start is just $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. See how in a few weeks or even days, Relief Factor can reduce your pain. When you feel better, life is just better. So don't mask pain. Fight it naturally with Relief Factor.
Dinesh D'Souza here. Have you heard about my new movie? It's called Vindicating Trump, and it's based on my book of the same name. This book is a deep dive into the real reasons why the left and the Democrats hate Donald Trump so much. They call him a tyrannical dictator, but in reality, it's the American government's authoritarian regime that's afraid that Trump will dethrone them once again. Trump, as a charismatic leader, knows how to mobilize the people. He gets things done, and they don't like it. That's why they're doing everything they can to stop him, using lawsuits, indictments, even assassination attempts on his life. Vindicating Trump reveals Donald Trump as the one man that can stand up to the tyranny of the left. And that's precisely why we need his leadership now more than ever. Don't miss my no-holds-barred defense of Trump in Vindicating Trump. You can watch it now or buy the DVD. Go to salemnow.com. That's salemnow.com.
You're listening to The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
Welcome back. It is The Real Story with Jeannie Ives, and we do have Cleta Mitchell on the phone. I'm so thrilled to have her here, especially just ahead of the election. Of course, Cleta chairs the Election Integrity Network. She was, at one point, Donald Trump's election attorney as well. However, she was not indicted in Georgia, which is great. She's served as outside counsel to a number of Republican organizations, and she's been all over election integrity issues. And so I'm really happy to have her on, especially because back in November, she called it. She put out a memo called an overview of the threat of non-citizen voting in 2024. She did this months before we even started talking about this. And by the way, Cleta Mitchell with me is the legendary Mancow. He's a wonderful radio show host in the Chicago area. So I want to just go back to your memo here. You wrote, the Biden administration has ordered every federal agency to register everyone who comes into contact with the agency. What protections exist to stop the registration of migrants by DHS or other federal agencies? Point number 5 was there are a myriad left-wing advocacy groups who register illegals to vote. It appears that that's just exactly what happened in Pennsylvania. This is prescient, and what do you have to say for yourself? I mean, you knew it all then, right?
Well, I started, I don't know, the left-wing media, their heads just explode when I say this, but, people of faith understand what I mean. I just, in January of this year, I just all of a sudden felt like God put this on my heart. I just all of a sudden started thinking about this. And you know how sometimes you feel as though that you're supposed to be thinking about or working on something, and you don't know where that came from. And I just always say, well, that was God telling me to pay attention. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized what was going on and the threats, the more I came to believe that we needed to elevate this issue to the public consciousness. And so I just became I just started beating this drum, and we organized a national coalition for Only Citizens Vote. And we've had national working group calls every week for months now. I worked with the House leadership, with Speaker Johnson, with Representative Chip Roy, the principal author, and Senator Mike Lee. I went to them in January and said, look at this statute. This statute is terrible. The federal laws on voter registration are pretty terrible, and they're dictatorial to the states. The states are required to abide by them, and they're pretty terrible. And if we were to be so blessed as to win the House and Senate and the White House, these are things we really need to change, because this has become a huge problem. Nobody dreamed when these bills were passed years ago that we would ever be in a situation where the entire administration that's supposed to enforce the laws, the executive branch of government, was just going to wholesale ignore the immigration statute. So nothing contemplated a situation like this. So we have to hope that we get through this election and then try to fix these laws.
Okay, but how big of the problem do we have? Are we going to get through this election?
Well, this is only one of a myriad of issues that we have to deal with. And I was just on the phone this evening with our chair of the Election Integrity Network, the state coalition in Pennsylvania. And there are now, I think, 5, maybe 6 counties who have discovered this, what is clearly an organized fraud scheme of fraudulent voter registration. And where's the FBI? Where is the governor who appoints the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania? Why are they not stepping up and say this should not be a partisan issue? Why is this county by county? These county registrars in some counties are finding these things that are clearly fraudulent, and it's clearly a scheme. It's been traced to a company in Arizona. It's an interstate thing. Where's the FBI, please?
Well, where are they? They're in on it. They're part of it. I have one question. I'm glad Jeannie let me jump on. I have one question.
What?
Honestly, did Trump win last time?
You know what I say about that?
Tell me.
I say that because of some of the things that I know, I think it's impossible to say who won. I think that it's impossible to say in certain states who won.
Now think about who this is talking.
Yeah, I know.
No, because I get a lot of heat from people. I don't think he won. And I'm friendly with him. He would take my call. I like him. He likes me. I don't think he won. And I think he knows he didn't win. But,
no, I don't think you can say that.
But there was a lot of shenanigans. There was a lot of cheating. But I still think. I'm sorry. Anyway.
No, that's great. I mean,
people get very angry at me for saying that, but
okay, I think he won. That's me. I mean, we can have differences of opinion here. It's not a big deal.
It was close.
But I also think that first of all, the Hunter Biden laptop story being absolutely shaded.
Right.
I mean, and now you have that new report coming out that proves everything. That Congress just came out with a massive report about that. I will tell you this. Last night, Dinesh D'Souza spoke at Freedom Summit, which was hosted here by AM 560. And he said he was like, okay, what's the next scheme that they're going to do? How are they going to steal it this time? And he sent out a couple of investigators. And the clip was too long to play. Otherwise, I'd play his actual words. But essentially, he said, come back and tell me how they're going to steal it this time. And then he found out that essentially the ballot paper is an open source ballot paper. You get the ballot paper for whichever, state you're from, and you take the ballot and you print off your own ballots, and voila, you have 10,000 live ballots. Yes or no?
Well, in Pennsylvania and Georgia and North Carolina, for sure, the statutes are very clear. I don't know that Michigan's are still as clear as they used to be, but because the Democrats have completely upended the election laws in Michigan. But the law is that you have to. How many voters checked in? By whatever method they voted, absentee, in person, on election day, early. That's a finite number. What is that number? And then how many ballots were issued? Were issued early, absentee, on election day? That's a finite number. Those two numbers need to match. And those two numbers need to match the number of votes that are certified. Those three numbers are supposed to match. It is exactly like the bank teller at the end of the day, or the grocery store cashier at the end of the shift. The cash store needs to balance. Yep. And if you would like to know, you've read all of this stuff about how everybody went crazy over these rules that the state election board in Georgia adopted. Would you like to know what one of those rules was? Implementing the step-by-step in the statute that requires reconciliation. Yeah. Now, that is one of the things that the left went crazy over, because if you do those things, you have a system that reconciles those numbers, you can't cheat. And remember the big brouhaha over, they want paper ballots. They want to count paper ballots. No. What they wanted to do, what one of the rules was at the end of the day, after advance voting, and then on election day, you would take the ballots out of the tabulator, count the number of ballots in each tabulator, look at the tabulator tape, do the number of ballots in the tabulator match the number that the tabulator says that it tabulated.
Hey, we kind of got late to you, so we've got a hard break. I want to thank you so much for providing that information, and we'll have you on again. I really appreciate you, Cleta, and your work you're doing. We're doing better than we were last time, that's for sure.
She said the liberals might get upset. Jeannie, my God, can you imagine? What if they get upset? We want voter IDs and paper ballots.
The Democrat Party used to have elements of this. The Democrat Party used to have some uniparty components. But the Democrat Party, 20 or 30 years ago especially, would have thought that open borders, mass migration, hyperinflation was just outrageous. What happened to that Democrat Party?
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Stevens, the whirlwind of presidential campaign rallies continuing today. Vice President Kamala Harris at Michigan State University in East Lansing.
In these final hours, let us remember that there is power in knowing that we are together. And let us remember that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power.
Former President Barack Obama appearing in Milwaukee today, Sunday, for the VP in a key battleground state. Former President Trump also hitting swing states today.
With your vote on Tuesday, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into your country. Your country is under siege.
The former president in Kinston, North Carolina, as most pre-election polls still show razor-thin margins across the U.S., especially in swing states. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Reveille. 1 week from now, the final votes will be cast to decide one of the most contentious and bizarre elections in American history. Never has a party replaced their presumptive presidential nominee this close to the election. Never has the party in power filed 4 lawsuits against the other party's frontrunner and former president during the campaign with the hopes of putting him in jail. And other than the Civil War, never has there been such a division on fundamental beliefs about human existence, our constitutional rights, and the proper role of government in people's lives. We should hope for a landslide for Trump. It would mean that most Americans are educated enough to know what America stands for and what's in our national and personal best interests. If it's a close election as expected, it means we have work to do that will take at least a generation in which to see results. A public this divided on core issues is a public uneducated in America's founding documents and civics. Here are just a few examples. It should universally be recognized that in America, we don't allow the world's population to enter illegally. We don't bail out student loans or the debt of failed companies. We don't arrest citizens in pre-dawn raids for nonviolent crimes. We don't force taxpayers to fund the immoral acts of others, such as abortion or sex change operations. We don't indoctrinate children into the LGBTQ agenda. We don't discriminate based on race in schooling or jobs or contracts. And we don't allow laws to be ignored by woke prosecutors. While there will always be disagreements on government intervention in the marketplace, guns versus butter spending, and how isolationist we should be in foreign policy, the fact that half the electorate questions the immutable truths about sex designation or property rights or individual rights or the equal enforcement of laws is a problem that must be addressed if America is to thrive. I'm Jeannie Ives. Check out The Real Story with me Sunday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. and sign up for my newsletter at breakthrough-ideas.com.
Protecting and growing your retirement assets can be complicated. From asset and legacy protection to retirement income and extended care, you need a plan. Mark Kohler, host of Retirement and Income Radio, heard Sundays at 11 a.m., helps retirees in or near retirement protect their accounts from market volatility. Mark can help you create lifetime guaranteed inflation-hedged income. Call Mark today at 844-619-SAFE. That's 844-619-7233. And listen this Sunday at 11 a.m. to Retirement and Income Radio.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Hugh Hewitt weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, followed by Mike Gallagher at 9. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
We now return to The Real Story. Here's your host, Jeannie Ives.
So
All right. Welcome back. It's The Real Story. We're going to go straight to some phone calls, and then we're going to have our favorites on the Edgar County Watchdogs. And by the way, just teasing this one up because John Kraft has a story on what he calls the most offensive public meeting he's ever encountered. So that'll be interesting. And then Kirk Allen's going to cover about the Army recruiter who's sitting in jail for an alleged sex crimes. And by the way, the upper crust military guys didn't even know about it.
How about the Pentagon, Jeannie Ives, not sending out ballots?
Yeah, no, that's true too. The hell is going on
here? Well, because soldiers, you think they want to work for Kamala, or you think they like Trump again?
Okay,
the guy that respects them.
Yeah, we'll listen to Eduardo in Tampa Bay. Eduardo, welcome to the program.
Yeah, Jeannie Mancow. I did the election judge over here, and I heard the head clerk saying we have a high number of unregistered voters here. Let's remember that the Biden administration specifically bused or flew these migrants to red states to obviously impact electoral results in November. So that's not surprising.
Yeah, no, you're right. They had a plan. They wanted to bring them in, and they brought them to all the red states. You know, Indiana has a problem too, just like Ohio has that problem with Springfield, Ohio. Just
Jeannie,
like Louisiana had their problem too. They're going everywhere.
The border czar, Kamala. I mean, look at this. Nobody voted for her. Here she is. She kept the border open. She got all these illegals in. And by the way, he says
Tsarina.
migrant, which
it's
makes me think of my good friend Armando, who came into America and has lived the American dream over at La Scarola. You probably know Armando. And these are not migrants. These are soldiers. I with my own eyes, 1,400 of them at the train station were met. 1,400. There's no kids. There's no women. And they stand at ease like soldiers. And they are here to put their boots on our throats. I'm telling you, this is an army. This is an invasion.
And the people are clueless.
I got something else.
Yes.
Jeannie, I got something else. This is the biggest thing. I don't know if I've ever said this. I talked to somebody in the State Department, a great source of mine. Do you know what the number one thing left at the border is? What is the number one thing left at the American border?
Drugs?
No.
What?
And someone say trash, whatever. What is it?
Yeah, trash
what?
is.
IDs.
Oh, no.
You
It's
ready?
rape kits.
No. Number one thing left at the border from people coming into America. You ready? Muslim prayer rugs.
No.
Because they don't want to be identified.
Well, I was at the border. I saw the trash. I was there.
And unbelievable the amount of Chinese coming in that are,
I mean, well, the pecan farmers right there on Eagle Pass that everybody has heard about before. 58 dead people they found on their property in a week.
Yeah.
Like, what
Kamala,
the hell?
reward her with the presidency.
Right.
Are you not going to talk more about Peanut the squirrel that got euthanized by the Democrats?
Not right now, no. Okay, we'll take Jim from South Elgin real quick. Jim, welcome to the program.
It's gonna take me a minute.
What was that? Jim? Hello? Oh.
I think you said murmur.
Oh, okay. Rob from Wheaton.
Hey, hello, Jeannie, and hello, Mancow. How
Hi.
you doing?
Man, I'm blessed.
Good.
Great to see you at the Freedom Summit yesterday, Jeannie. My sister always loves talking to you. But anyway, I called a little earlier because I'm assuming they're going to cheat, and they may get away with as much cheating as they did last time, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And the reason I have this optimism this time is that what the two Obamas said recently in their so-called rallies, which are more like rants, what Barack Obama said and what his husband Mike said, well, they weren't rallying for Kamala. They were scolding their fellow blacks. And I don't think they would do that if they were confident that the fix was in and they were going to be able to overcome the Trump margins, which are going to be enormous. And I think we all know in anything approaching a fair election, Trump wins in a landslide this time. And so I'm very confident because of the way they've acted. And they know perfectly well they're not going to be able to get away with it on that kind of a scale again. And that's what gives me hope this time.
Yeah, well, to counteract that, though, they've got all the polls saying that it's tight. So then people are like thinking it's tight. I mean, this is psychological stuff, right? So then when the vote by mail ballot comes in and they swamp the Trump vote on the day of, I mean, I think that this is sort of what they're planned.
What do you see on TV, Jeannie? You see a program. What is it called? Tell a Vision. It is all a psyop. Look at what they did during COVID. They put you inside, and it's brainwashing. And you talk about, why are these people? How can they look at Kamala? Because they're brainwashed. They are zombies. They are half brain dead. And I don't know what chemicals they put in us, but I think that's helped too. People have gone crazy, as we would have said, growing up in Missouri, as I did.
Okay.
People gone crazy.
Well, back to the local level, we're going to bring in the Edgar County Watchdogs. These are my favorite public servants. They're not even public servants. They just are private guys doing the right thing. So
great.
It's John Kraft, Kirk Allen. John, you've got this article teed up, the most offensive public meeting rules ever encountered. That's got to be a doozy, because you guys have been at this for 12 years, going around the state, attending public meetings. And so what'd you find?
Well, Jeannie, thanks for having us. Mancow, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
We've been to hundreds and hundreds of meetings, and we've never come across meetings rules this bad. This mayor, Michelle McKinney, claims that the Illinois Municipal League blessed off on this ordinance of hers, and it's impossible. They would never do that. We showed up because somebody sent us a video of the mayor ejecting a resident from the meeting in early October because he had the gall to video record the meeting. Well, that's a right in Illinois, they don't have an option.
That's right.
And when the sheriff deputy showed up and told the mayor this guy had the right to videotape the meeting, she just walked off in the middle of the deputy talking to her, and just walked off, disrespected the deputy. The guy went in and recorded the meeting, but we showed up to record the meeting also. And their rules are so ridiculous. It says you have to notify the city council 72 hours in advance of the meeting by written notice or phone call to City Hall in order to videotape a meeting. They can't do that. I mean, you can show up at the last second and set up your camera and record it. And another rule they have is if one person talks on a subject, say Kirk talked about public meeting rules, part of it, and somebody else wants to talk about the same subject, they can't do that.
That's wrong.
So she tried to shut me down, and they also give her the power to fine people between $150 and $500 for what she says is disrupting a meeting. Nobody disrupted a meeting, and she said she was going to fine me $150, and there's 3 other names written down on the same sheet that she had every intention of fining $150, claiming they were disrupting the meeting. So her play is engage in a conversation with people when she doesn't like what they say, tell them to shut up, the conversation's over, and if they say anything else, she fines them.
John, tell the audience, how did she get elected?
She got elected by 3 votes. She didn't win by
3 votes.
3 votes total.
With 3 votes.
There were 3 votes.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Yeah.
And what town is this again in Illinois? What town?
Nobody knew it was up for election. The city of Nason, Nason, in Jefferson County, south of Vandalia.
Good grief. I mean, I don't know. How do you fix that? Because that's just really stupid. Hopefully and then what? 30 out of the 120 residents showed up at the meeting. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope they fine you and you take him to court, just like all these people that got the forced vaccine that are getting big money. This is a clear violation of your rights, and I hope you'll get fined the $150 and go fight it. You want to make a difference, that's what you do. And what are you doing in that area? There's people there? Have you not heard of Chicago?
Well,
we got theater and
I know, and
concerts.
Restaurants. I gave her my name and address so I could get the bill in the mail. So.
The fine in the mail. Make sure it was right. So you can go sue her. Yeah. All right, hey, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Kirk Allen. All right, he's going to be talking about this Army recruiter sitting in jail for alleged sex crimes. And by the way, his higher-ups, his chain of command had no idea. We'll be right back.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I love it. Everything that people say on the television about it is absolutely true. As a matter of fact, my boyfriend sent him some of my Balance of Nature. He went and bought his own now.
I've been taking it for a pretty good while now, and I really like it. It makes me feel really good. I feel like I'm taking a product, that's not some kind of gimmick.
I've been a very happy customer. I think it's wonderful stuff.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready for the next step, visit surroundchicago.com right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Visit surroundchicago.com today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
My husband's a retired cop, and I worked in a hospital for years. I'm going out right now because I'm getting ready to paint my fence. It's just literally amazing. And, you watch the TV articles, and you go, yeah. Well, at least it's 100% returnable if it doesn't work. I'm not kidding you. It is the most amazing product I've ever taken.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time, and she said, "Oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature." So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, "Oh, try it."
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
You're listening to The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right, welcome back. We're still with Watchdogs. Kirk Allen, thanks for joining us. By the way, Mancow, you know what the record is?
Yeah, it's you just put a needle on them and play them.
No. What? Kirk, tell them what your record is. What is your record for forcing out of office bad public officials? What's your record? I mean, this is what they have done individually. Tell them what your record is.
654 public officials.
Wow.
In Illinois.
You're only getting started. Keep going.
I know.
Can you make it to the governor's office and the mayor's office in Chicago? Wow.
I hear you.
Or how about all the way up to Austin, General Austin. Yeah. Suck deaf. Okay, so you've got this story, and it feels like nobody else has covered it but you, which is really concerning. And a U.S. Army recruiter out of Effingham County has been charged with both Edgar and Coles counties on numerous alleged sex crimes against minors.
Oh.
I mean, how did this guy get even close to juveniles? And it's multiple. I mean, it's crime after crime. Class X felony, Class 1 felony, Class 4 felony, Class 1 felony, Class 1, Class 1, Class 2, Class X.
And there's more to come from what we understand in another county.
So how did you guys discover this was going on in this case, and why has not local media covered it?
Well, I can't answer the why, and that's one that look at today's media. How do we explain any of it? But we've got tipped off from one of our sources in another county that looks like some more charges are coming down, and for some reason nobody wants to report on it. Now, I did talk to the state's attorney in Coles County, and his comment was, yes, they confirmed it's an Army recruiter, but they don't put out that type of information, because
why not?
He's
Why
got
not?
rights. blah, blah,
No,
blah.
no, people should know if it's an Army recruiter because they let those Army recruiters in schools. And they let young kids, even 17-year-olds, be with Army recruiters. And they have Army recruiters that move these kids maybe to a processing center and back. People should know if it's an Army recruiter.
We contacted the Regional Office of Education superintendent, and he had not heard anything about it. So he was going to be reaching out to the schools and get back with us. But our understanding is nobody knew about this. The schools weren't informed. The ROE was not informed. We've shared this story with other media, but they have yet to publish it anywhere. And I believe, and John can confirm, I believe he even contacted the Army Times, and they still haven't published a story on it. So I'm not sure why they don't want to, other than it's a total embarrassment, but the regular media should be covering this.
Well, Jeannie, they protect their own. I mean, we see with Epstein, we see with P. Diddy. This is epidemic in these levels of government. And they really are. And look at the flag and some of the things that are going on and the grooming with the children. They're getting very soft on pedophilia. Mancow's law for 30 years has been the death penalty for pedophiles. I'm not kidding. If you molest a child, whatever that child was going to be, you've murdered that child. And so this guy, the numbers are startling. But they're protecting their own. And you wait. And this is another thing. Oh, he's crazy. I've never been wrong about any of this stuff. I'm right. You wait. You're going to see in your lifetime, oh, well, the kids, it feels good for the kids. The guy, it was consensual. Look at what's going on in California with the ages they're lowering. So why isn't it being reported? Because the higher-ups,
But didn't you tell me that the higher-ups didn't even know about it? You sort of checked in.
Or are they lying?
Yeah. Didn't you check in with somebody who would have obviously been in his chain of command, and they had no idea this guy was sitting in jail for porn and child molestation?
We're still waiting on a comment from an official comment from him. But John spoke with, I forget the name of the unit, that he's tied to, and they didn't have any knowledge of it.
Is he in jail? Did I hear?
He's in jail. He's sitting in jail, and his chain of command allegedly
well, other
didn't know
prisoners
about it.
don't like pedos, so let's hope.
He's
let's hope
in
there's some justice.
He's in a county jail, probably by himself. Who knows?
Yeah, but he was first arrested in Edgar County, and they let him out. And then he got arrested in Coles County, and they locked him up as a dangerous person. Even under the Safety Act, they took the steps to keep him in jail. There in Edgar County, they didn't keep him in jail. They let him out.
What's wrong with Edgar County?
Hey, where do you think the Edgar County Watchdogs came from, Jeannie?
That's true.
You can't get a good donut in that town.
If you're going to give the state an enema, you stick it in Edgar County.
Oh, that is where your name came from.
I want that on a bumper sticker. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I want that on a bumper sticker. All right.
They're the Edgar County Watchdogs.
I love that.
Because they started their whole watchdog group in Edgar County.
You saw the Caviezel movie about pedophilia.
I
and all
did.
That.
I absolutely.
And did Netflix ever take it? I mean, it made huge money.
Right.
Nobody else talked about it but the people that care about kids being groomed and molested. But let's go to story time over at our library with an adult man in a dress. Why do guys in dresses need to be around kids reading?
Not at all.
I mean, they're funny, but why do we need to laugh? Why do we need that around our kids? Any sexuality, by the way.
This isn't the entire Kamala agenda, though. This is exactly what they're voting for. But I'm sorry, but when you vote for this, you also vote for, when you vote for your state rep, who's a Democrat, you're voting for this as well.
Look, we are going to live to see this being normalized. And you say, oh, no, it's crazy. You wait. They're very soft on pedophiles lately. And I think it's
I want to follow up on this. So, okay. Did you approach your superintendents? Did you talk to anybody in the school system other than the ROE, or did you talk to them? They didn't know about this. What were they going to do? How are they going to change things so that this doesn't happen again?
Well, no comment.
I can
no
answer
comment.
That. The ROE contacted the local high schools and they were in the dark and they assured us, the ROE assured us that what can they do other than keep the guy out of
didn't you tell me that either one of the charges you read, because I'm sorry I didn't read every single charge here, but didn't you tell me that some of this sexual assault happened in a classroom?
It happened in one of the public education buildings in Coles County.
Okay. And they don't know about it.
Of course, it happened
and
in
they
the
haven't,
school,
they
Jeannie.
haven't. I know, but people should be outraged.
Yeah, they are.
Nobody's paying attention to this, and the media doesn't report on it. And then you get the call like, hey, how come the Republicans aren't doing anything about it? How come the media's not reporting on it?
Yeah.
How come they're not reporting on
Who
this
runs the
stuff?
media? They're very soft on this.
Yeah.
I agree with Mancow. We've got Channel 3 and Channel 17. Neither one of them have ran this story. They've both been provided it. Why they don't is just, I think he's nailed it. They're
you
soft
go.
on this, and this is part of their agenda.
Yeah.
That's part of the agenda. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we'll be right back.
What's the answer is what I want to know.
We're gonna give Mancow's final thoughts and final closing remarks right after this short break. So hold on, and thank you to the Watchdogs.
560. You might not realize that the conservative programming that you enjoy is supported by advertisers. Our loyal listeners love to do business with the advertisers they hear every day on AM 560. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some businesses who avoid advertising with us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our audience wants to support businesses that support what we do and think like we think. We would love to have you join the list of successful companies who are already reaching new, like-minded customers. Most AM 560 advertisers have been here for years for one simple reason: they get results. Join our efforts to make a difference in the lives of our listeners who are passionate about supporting our great family of AM 560 advertisers. To learn more, just visit 560theanswer.com/advertise. That's 560theanswer.com/advertise.
Attention parents, your child may be eligible for extra food benefits this summer thanks to a new program. The Summer EBT program will provide $120 per eligible child for families to buy groceries when school is out. These benefits are in addition to free summer meals available at schools, camps, and parks. To learn more about Summer EBT and if your child qualifies, please visit WeGotYouIllinois.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Commission to End Hunger, aired in cooperation with this station and the Illinois Broadcasters Association.
Protecting and growing your retirement assets can be complicated. From asset and legacy protection to retirement income and extended care, you need a plan. Mark Kohler, host of Retirement and Income Radio, heard Sundays at 11 a.m., helps retirees in or near retirement protect their accounts from market volatility. Mark can help you create lifetime guaranteed inflation-hedged income. Call Mark today at 844-619-SAFE. That's 844-619-7233. And listen this Sunday at 11 a.m. to Retirement and Income Radio.
More of The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
Wow, what an honor to co-host with Mancow. Mancow, last words to you.
Yeah, I got a lot to say, and I'll just say this. Oprah brought this into our lives. My truth, your truth. It's BS, and I saw this in my career evolve. I feel it. I think it. It doesn't mean you're right. And you can think all kinds of things, and Kamala may make you feel good, but the facts aren't there. I mean, really, the facts aren't there. And these godless communists don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care if they mutilate their genitals. They don't care about you. We saw it during COVID. And I'm just telling you, now is the time to fight. And I do think it's fixed. But I also believe it's not about you. There is a God. God is still on the throne, and that's what you got to do. Pray, 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 because it's going to take something supernatural to get Trump back in the White House, and that's what I believe.
Pearsall Financial Group of Apollon and host of Chicago's Real Money Pros. Did you know that careless titling of beneficiaries on retirement accounts, such as IRAs, can undermine even the most well-designed estate plan, causing your assets to go to the wrong person at your death? Did you also know that different tax rules apply to different types of beneficiaries? For example, the tax rules that apply to using your spouse as a beneficiary are different from the tax rules for using your children as beneficiaries. Tune in to Chicago's Real Money Pros, where we talk about proper beneficiary planning and much, much more. Visit our website at chicagosrealmoneypros.com, where you can sign up for our workshops and access financial content. And use our Ask the Experts feature to get your financial questions answered by a true fiduciary advisor. That's chicagosrealmoneypros.com.
Investment advisory services are offered by Apollon Wealth Management, LLC.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
They're counting it down. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris continues to hit the campaign trail with a sprint to Election Day Tuesday, including a visit today to Michigan State University in East Lansing, making a promise there to supporters.
I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans.
Now, earlier in the day, the vice president campaigning from a pulpit. She made an appearance at the Greater Emmanuel Institutional Church in Northwest Detroit.
I see faith in action in remarkable ways. I see a nation determined to turn the page on hatred and division and chart a new way forward.
On the Republican side, former President Donald Trump spent his weekend making final pitches to voters.
Former President Trump visiting Kinston, North Carolina this afternoon. Earlier this morning, Trump raised eyebrows when he made this comment at a rally in Pennsylvania.
To get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news.
The Trump campaign says President Trump was stating that the media was in danger and should have had a glass protective shield also. But the Harris campaign is also facing criticism after a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live last night. The Trump campaign says Trump was not invited to be on the show, and SNL had previously said they wouldn't have either candidate on. One Republican FCC commissioner tells Fox he believes it is an FCC violation.
And that's Fox's Bill Malugin in Macon, Georgia. Fox News Radio providing special Election Day coverage this coming Tuesday. Kicks off at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Stay tuned. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
It'll be breezy and mild overnight with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 60. Breezy and warmer tomorrow with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, high 68. Breezy and warm with periods of rain and a thunderstorm for tomorrow night, low 64. Tuesday looks mostly cloudy, windy, and mild with a couple of showers. Prepare for wet weather if you're heading out to vote, high 67. I'm Ruth O'Brien on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Dennis Prager is astonished by recent numbers.
Illegal immigration quadrupled, and half the country is really troubled by the fact that half the country doesn't seem to give a damn. It's a remarkable thing that I just said. Half of the country doesn't care. I don't get it.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
At Balance of Nature, the quality of our products always starts with TLC, tender, loving care. We start by ensuring that only the finest fruit and vegetable ingredients are selected for our supplements. We put our ingredients through an advanced vacuum cold process that removes their moisture. Then they're ground up into a fine powder, encapsulated, and voila! Our fruits and veggies supplements are made just for you with love. And our commitment to care doesn't end there. Our customer care team is here to provide assistance, ensuring that you have the support and guidance you need. It's the tender, loving care you can see, smell, taste, and feel with every delivery. Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gave Alice, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
This is Carol Platt, Liebau for townhall.com. Kamala Harris is closing the presidential campaign by calling former President Trump a fascist. She wants voters to fear he will centralize power in his own hands for his own radical and totalitarian ends. The claim, as ugly as it is, doesn't stand up to scrutiny. In fact, Kamala Harris is the one who's offered radical plans with a totalitarian flavor. Kamala Harris is the one who tried to censor Donald Trump, actually calling for him to be thrown off social media. She's open to expanding the number of justices on the Supreme Court, just because she doesn't like the way the court rules. And the Harris campaign has promised to eliminate the Senate filibuster to make Roe v. Wade the law of the land. Ignore the name calling and look carefully at Kamala Harris's plans. Then vote accordingly. I'm Carol Platt-Liebau.
AM 560, The Answer. The following is a pre-recorded program.
Welcome to the Center Square Radio Hour for the first week of November 2024. I'm your host, Chris Krug. The Center Square and the Radio Hour are projects of the Franklin News Foundation, a 501c3 independent, nonprofit, nonpartisan news service. Established in 2019, the Center Square Newswire publishes original taxpayer-centric straight news, focusing on the size, scope, and effectiveness of local, state, and federal government. On the Center Square Radio Hour, our journalists explore their top stories and add insight to the headlines. We'll also present thoughts on the economy from Dr. Orphe D. Von Gie, PhD economist, and bring you the latest in K-12 education news from our Franklin News Foundation's Chalkboard News team. We'll look at the home stretch of the presidential campaigns ahead of Tuesday. We'll hear about the Supreme Court ruling allowing Virginia to keep non-citizens from its voting rolls. And we'll discuss congressional races that are also up for grabs in this election. We'll be right back with all that and more in the Center Square Radio Hour.
Are you tired of news that puts politics over people? At the nonprofit Franklin News Foundation, we believe in putting people over politics by delivering nonpartisan news and audio content that serves you, the American taxpayer. With Franklin News Foundation, you can read fact-based, state-focused news for free at thecentersquare.com. You can listen to civil, balanced conversations between policy experts through our podcast network at americastalking.com. Or you can get in-depth news on K-12 education spending, curriculum, and school safety at chalkboardnews.com. It's all free through Franklin, where we put you, the American taxpayer, first in every story, episode, and conversation. And it's only possible through our supporters. Together, we can produce content that puts people over politics and brings Americans the news they deserve. Become a supporter today at franklinnews.org/donate. Once again, that's franklinnews.org/donate.
Welcome back to the Center Square Radio Hour. I'm Chris Krug. With more on the presidential race, it's Dan McCaleb. The November 5th general election is just days away. Joining me to discuss the presidential race is Casey Harper, Washington, D.C. bureau chief for the Center Square. Casey, just a few days out, where do things stand?
Dan, this is a unique and very tight election. I mean, we've been talking about it for weeks on this show, but here we are. Election day is here. Every day there's some new development, some new potential scandal or gaffe that could move the needle. And the reason we're focusing on those gaffes so much is because the race is so close. In fact, it's gotten even more close since we last talked. Nationally, Vice President Kamala Harris, her lead has dwindled down to maybe less than a point, depending on which poll you look at, maybe about a point. Earlier, just a month or two ago, it was about a 3-point lead. Now, that's pretty interesting because while, of course, the popular vote does not select the president, it does give us a window into how close the race will be. And some analysts were saying that Kamala Harris has to win, the popular vote by maybe 3 points to win the election, which is pretty interesting. So nationally, the race has gotten even closer, which could be a good sign for Trump, actually. And then in these swing states, what's interesting is it's kind of good and bad for Trump or Kamala, because Trump is doing well or has a slight majority lead in all 7 of the closest swing states, But there are some states where Trump really has to win to get his path forward. Pennsylvania in particular is one. I mean, it's not impossible for Trump to become president without winning Pennsylvania, but most analysts say that is a really important state for him. And here we are, and it is as close as it can be, a total toss-up. And so where are we then? We are just a couple of days out. No one knows who's going to win, and the race could not be tighter.
So you referenced the swing states. Those obviously are going to be the key to the electoral votes that are needed for one or the other to secure the White House. Trump holds slight leads according to Real Clear Politics polling average in all of those swing states, but every single one of them are within the margin of error. So literally, this could go either way, correct?
It could, and actually recent polling has shown maybe those swing states aren't even as much all in Trump's favor. I mean, before they were basically tied, but Trump had very slight leads. But if you look, actually Harris has made a little bit of a gain in Michigan and Wisconsin. She's, now the same averages are showing the same lead actually for Harris in Trump is not winning all 7 anymore. That's a brand new update. I misspoke there because now I'll just lay them out for you. Arizona, he's up by 2.4, which is a good margin. Pennsylvania, he's up by 0.3, which is, a toss-up. What is that? That doesn't mean anything. That just means we're going to find out on Tuesday, hopefully, who's going to win that state. This is important, though. North Carolina, he's up by 1.4. He's had some steady success there, and that's a really important state for Trump. Georgia, he's up by 2.6. That's a pretty good lead. But Michigan, Harris is up by 0.8, and Wisconsin, she's up by 0.3. Let's see. And then the other states, Nevada, Trump has up by almost a point. And the other states, kind of once used to be swing states, or some people always hope. People always say Texas is going to go blue, but Trump's up by 7 points there. Trump's up by 7 points in Ohio. You remember, Dan, it used to be that if you won Florida and Ohio, you were the president. But Trump's going to win both of those, almost unless something crazy happens. New Mexico and Virginia, Harris is slated to win those by about 6 or 7 points. So, in Minnesota as well, she's up by 5. So, Harris has made some gains in the swing states, but Trump has made gains in the national polling. I think what this boils down to is it's too close to call. As long as these swing states are this close, Dan, it's going to be all about turnout on Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right about that, Casey. And we reported just last night that nearly 63 million voters have already cast ballots. There's such a hyper focus on November 5th, Election Day. But of course, with the expansion of early voting and mail-in voting across the country, a large percent of voters have already cast their ballots, Casey. You also referenced, you hope we know Tuesday night. Do you really expect to know Tuesday night who the winner of this election is?
No. If it's a runaway win, then we will know. But
there's no indication that there's going to be a runaway win here.
No, there's not. But the polls have been so off in these Trump elections that it's still possible. Trump, for instance, in 2020, as he referenced on a recent podcast, I think he was down by 17 points in Wisconsin was the consensus. And he ended up only losing Wisconsin by like 1 point. Right. So, the polls are important. They give us an idea of trends, but they can be off by 17 points in a swing state, And so we've had some humility when we approach it. To your point about the early voting, we're seeing this is the new era of voting unless the laws are changed. The amount of early voting has been huge, and actually some good signs for Republicans because they've seen a unusually high number of early voting ballots from registered Republicans, which bodes really well actually for Trump. Historically, Democrats have won the early vote, but Republicans do well on Election Day. But it may be that this election changes that because Republicans are voting more, it seems, in early voting. Now, the question is, are they just transferring their votes from Election Day to early voting? And so it's just a net zero, or are there more Republicans voting overall? And we're seeing that in early voting, and we'll see it on Election Day. That's the big question.
Speaking of Election Day, Casey, me, you, and the entire Center Square staff will be working the elections across the country. You from Washington, D.C., and we have staff in all 4 continental U.S. time zones, so listeners can follow our coverage at thecentersquare.com.
A big thanks to Dan and Casey. You're listening to the Center Square Radio Hour. I'm your host, Chris Krug. With more on the legal battle Virginia faced to keep non-citizens from its voting rolls and the Supreme Court decision that ended it, we'll now go to Eliana Kernodle.
The U.S. Supreme Court has granted Virginia's emergency request to keep non-citizens off voter rolls. Attorney General Jason Miraz announced Wednesday morning via a social media post. Joining me with more on this story is the Center Square's Sarah Roderick-Fitch. Sarah, can you lay out the details of this case, what initiated it, and the stages it went through?
Yes. So it stems from an Executive Order 35, that Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin signed or issued back in early August in order to basically strengthen election integrity. Part of that was just basically clearing the voter rolls. Actually, I think the larger part of it was making sure that all ballots in Virginia are done paper, voting machines, whatnot. He was doing that. But at the time, he indicated that they had, basically in about a year's time or so, or more so, actually, I think, they had removed like over 80,000 deceased voters, and then also voters who had moved maybe from out of state. And then in addition, within a year, between July and I believe July of 2023 and then July of 2024, the Commonwealth had removed over 6,000 non-citizen voters. And so the case actually came about actually not long ago. And it actually I was alerted to it through a letter that Democratic Congressman Jerry Connolly of Virginia had written, and then it followed by a group of different organizations representing like the League of Women Voters, immigration organizations, and Protect Democracy, initiated a lawsuit that challenged the law and based it on a 90-day quiet period within the National Voter Registration Act. And that's what they were citing, and that's what they were challenging. And that's kind of where that whole thing started. Interestingly, though, the only ones they were targeting were the non-citizens voter registration. I spoke with the attorneys representing that initial lawsuit because following that initial lawsuit, then the Department of Justice filed their own lawsuit, basically identical to the first one, and they did with that within days. And those were